Hi everybody and welcome back to Be Like Christ. Today's video we continue our study in the book of Matthew, talk about salt and light. Jesus has just finished his discussion on the Beatitudes in Matthew chapter 5, and now he goes on to say that these types of people, the ones that have these characteristics, will be the ones who influence the world, and he compares them to two things, salt and light. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. So Christians who have these characteristics are going to be salty. Now, I'm a person who loves salt. I put salt on everything, and I just like the taste. But if salt didn't have any taste, it'd kind of be a waste of time. Maybe make your food a little bit crunchier. People use it because it influences the taste of whatever food they're eating. Jesus tells all these people, you have the ability to be the salt of the earth, to influence the world and give the flavor of Christ to the world. But if you don't have any taste, you're worthless. And I'm afraid that there are a lot of churches, especially in the United States, because that's where I've grown up, that are really concerned about the amount of salt that they have and not so concerned with the taste of the salt they have. In my city, across town, there's this huge pile of salt, and it's brought in for the wintertime when they put salt down on the road to help with the freezing and the ice. And that's what a lot of churches are really interested. They want a big old pile of salt, tons of people in their congregation, but they don't care at all whether that salt has any taste. They just want the numbers or the prestige of being the biggest church in town. And their preacher or pastor can say, you know, I preach to 5,000 on a Sunday morning. And if those people are just there every once in a while, they show up once a week and they don't really practice their Christianity outside of the church building, that's fine. Because it's all about the numbers. I've got a giant pile. And what Jesus is saying is, your pile's worthless. Your 5,000 member church, if there's no influence, if they're not giving any taste to the world, if they're not taking my message and Christianity and my image out to everybody around them, you're wasting your time. Unsalty salt isn't good for anything. He says, throw it out and people can trample on it. Jesus points to the fact, and his life really bears out, that he was more interested in having a small group of people who were very interested in what he was doing than just having the massive numbers. And maybe that should be our focus as well. Trying to disciple and teach and encourage people who are 100% devoted to influencing the world rather than just a ton of people who are marginally interested in Jesus. But Jesus goes on in verse 14 and he says, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all that are in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. So he says, you are the light, just like you're the salt, you're the light. And no one lights a candle and then puts a basket over it. The point of the candle is to give light to whatever you're trying to illuminate. Just like you're the salt, you're also the light. And Jesus was the light. And now you're responsible for taking the light of Jesus out into the dark world and helping to bring others to it. Hold your light up, show it boldly and courageously, and save anyone in the dark who will come. Because if you're hiding your light, you're not doing your job. And I'm afraid that this is another warning of Jesus that has crept into the church in many ways. We may not necessarily be hiding ourselves under a basket, but for many churches, the light is hidden in the basket of the church building. We come together and we shine our light underneath the church building ceiling and walls, and a lot of times we keep our light enclosed in that building. God permeates our conversation and our speaking and our singing and our preaching and our prayers, and we're all about that light of Jesus when we're in that room. But a lot of times when we leave, the lights kind of get put away. And my Sunday morning light gets put away when I'm at Monday morning in the office with my coworkers. And we find ourselves both sitting there in the dark when I have the light tucked away and should be shining it so everyone can see, but I'm afraid or worried about what somebody may think of me, because they all love the darkness. And they're going to think I'm a real weirdo if I bring out my torch and light up the room. So I would encourage you, don't keep your light under the basket of the church building. All of those people are already in light. They've seen the light of Christ. The world needs to see it. And when they see it, they'll see your good works and glorify God for bringing them out of the darkness. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to share it. That helps me and it helps the people who get this information. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see new videos 5 days a week. Like the video, comment down below if you see any other ways that those teachings of Jesus can be applied either to the church or to the world.